Hi everyone, my name is Sherry Johnson, and if you know me or have been following me, you'll notice that I have a new logo. So I've spent the last couple of months rebranding myself, and I'm still in the process working on my website, but I couldn't wait to start sharing some of what I've been doing. So I'm calling myself a life strategist. And this is still pretty new, so I'm still testing how that feels rolling off the tongue. But what I really love to do is help women consciously create the lives that they were meant to live. And let me tell you what I mean by that and why it's so important to me. So, a few years ago, I was not living the life that I was meant to live. I spent 15 years in corporate human resources in a job that I fell into and stayed in without ever really enjoying it fully. I spent the last 4 years of that career working for BlackBerry, which I'm sure you can imagine was crazy stressful in the years that it was on the upswing, as well as those last couple of years that I spent there, which were on the downside. So, about 3 years into that career, the last year that I spent there, my husband and I also endured a lot of personal loss that year. And we moved from Waterloo up to Collingwood, which is about a 2 hour drive. And so I started commuting down to Waterloo so that I could continue working there at BlackBerry. And then at the end of that year, we got married. So all of that happened in a span of about 7 or 8 months. I think five of life's major stressors had occurred, and that was when I really started questioning my purpose. So I was starting to see that I wasn't living with any sort of intention. I was just running on autopilot, really. And I was working for someone else's dream, namely Mike Lazaridis and Jim Balsillies. So that this questioning of my purpose didn't really happen as an epiphany. It happened over the course of time, and I started taking nutrition classes. And by the time I left BlackBerry, they let me go, which really was a gift. I was ready to start my nutrition consulting business, and I did that about 3 or 4 months after I left BlackBerry. And that really set me on the right path. And then a few months later, I was introduced to essential oils, and that really kind of set the wheels in motion. At that point, I really started a journey of personal discovery and to wellness. And the life that I live now is one that 3 years ago I could never have even fathomed. I'm sure that some of you feel that now as well if you have made the shift to from a corporate life, or maybe just one that you were not enjoying that much, to one that you now love. And it's wonderful to have the joy of doing something that you love, and to live with the intention of living that way. So, this is what I really want to share with you in the span of the next 10 minutes or so, is how I'm strategizing my life now, using life strategies and using nutrition and essential oils and lifestyle shifts to really consciously create the life that I want to live. So, in my mind, living with intention, or creating the life that you were meant to live, is really about creating space in your mind and in your life to become centered, grounded, to have clarity. So, I have three major ways that I do that, and I want to share that with you. So, number one, morning rituals. And this is not something that I've made up myself. There's lots of people, coaches out there who talk about this. So, Tony Robbins is one, Tiffany Peterson, there's lots of them. So, here's my morning ritual, and here's why you need to do it. So, when you jump out of bed and into everyone else's lives, you don't have time to create intention about how you want to live that day. Even if you don't jump out of bed right away, and but you jump into other people's lives, which is what I used to do, you don't live with intention. So here's an example. I used to my alarm would go off, and with the intention of checking the weather for the day so I could figure out what to wear, I would pick up my phone and check the weather. But then there'd be notifications from work, from my boss, from my friends, and then I'd be drawn to take a look at Facebook and see what had been posted the night before. And before I knew it, 20 minutes had passed, and I was suddenly then rushing into my day, already, thinking about the email that my boss sent for what I had to have to jump into when I get to work, and really not stopping to think. So now I don't even turn on my phone until I've had me time. So it starts with serving me so that I can get off autopilot. So number one, movement. The first thing that I do in my day is a 25-minute workout. It's not long, but it's intense, and it really gets me moving and helps to clarify my mind. Number two, meditation. This can be 5 minutes, it can be 2 minutes, it can be half an hour, whatever you have time for. It allows you to quiet your mind, think about what you need for that day, and to set that intention for the day. And then the third is the intention piece. So setting that intention, how you want to be and what you intend to do. So there's a little bit of a planning piece there as well. So how are you going to live that intention for that day? What are you going to do differently? So that's number one, creating some morning rituals. And that might be 10 minutes for you, or it might be an hour. It's whatever you have time for. But if you let your kids get you out of bed, then I can guarantee you're not going to be spending any time on you. You're going to be jumping into their day and their needs instead of your own. So start with you. Number two, nourish yourself. So there's actually a science behind this. When we nourish our bodies with healthy food, we will feel more energy, more focus, more clarity. It allows you to stay on purpose and to live your intention for the day. So 3 things that I would include in nourishing your body. Water is number one. Most of us don't drink enough water. We might even have a bottle sitting on our desk all day, but I find even through the course of the afternoon, I get busy with something, I don't want to stop, and I've forgotten to fill up my water bottle. And so that's number one. I like to include essential oils in that they make my water taste lovely, they provide a detoxifying effect on my body, and they also lift me up, just the smell of them. So I use the citrus oils in my water. Number two, food. So low sugar foods, high protein foods, and high healthy fat foods. So high protein, those are your good healthy sources of protein. They can be animal sources or vegetarian sources. That doesn't matter to me. As a nutritionist, there is a need for both, and it depends on your body chemistry. Some people don't crave meat. They can live on vegetarian proteins. Other people really need an animal source of meat. And then healthy fats are your avocado, coconut oil, coconut in general, your nuts and seeds, all those kind of healthy versions of fat. And then low sugar. So here's where you want to cut down on the obviously sugary desserts and candy and that sort of stuff, but you also want to cut down on the quickly absorbing carbohydrates. So those are your white carbohydrates. Opt for whole grains, fiber-rich foods, vegetables, fruits, that sort of stuff. So that's number two, your food, your water, your food, and supplements. So there are 3 supplements that I highly recommend to all of my clients, my nutrition clients. Number one would be a probiotic. I love doTERRA's product, but there are some other high quality ones out there. Choose one that's refrigerated if you can. If you're gonna head to the health food store for it, ask them for a high quality probiotic. Number 2, a basic multivitamin. Our soil does not provide the kind of nutrients to our food that it used to 100 years ago. We also, our bodies are bombarded with far more toxins than our bodies have evolved to do. So we need more nutrients than we used to. So a basic multivitamin will help you cover that. And then an omega-3. our foods also don't have the omega-3s that they used to. So that's another one that you're going to want to include. And then, so that's number 2, nourishing yourself. Number 3 is essential oils. So these are a natural solution that can replace so many things. I use them medicinally, emotionally. I use them to keep toxins out of my personal care routine by making my own products and using toxin-free products. And also home care. So I make a lot of my cleaning products now, just water, vinegar, and some essential oils. So there is a science behind essential oils and how they can affect you emotionally. There's 3 ways to use them. You can diffuse them or inhale them. You can use them topically on your skin. They'll absorb into your bloodstream, and you can use them internally. My top 3 oils to use are 3 doTERRA blends. I love Intune Focus Blend. It helps me to maintain focus through my day. It goes back to that intention and staying on purpose. Motivate is another one that helps me to stay motivated, to plan and stay on purpose throughout the day. And then the third one is frankincense, which is not actually a blend. That is a pure essential oil, and it also improves my focus through the day. It also does a whole bunch of other things. It's wonderful for my meditation practice that I do in the morning, to help me connect to my higher self. And there are so many uses for frankincense, but those are the ones in this context. So those are my 3 major tips. I've included kind of 3 different things in amongst each of those. So morning rituals, creating morning rituals, nourishing yourself in a way that helps you to maintain your energy and your focus and your clarity throughout the day, and then using essential oils to replace some of those less or more toxic things in your routines to help you emotionally stay on purpose as well. And so those are my 3 tips. I would encourage you to use those things to create more intention in your life and to create the lives that you were meant to live. Have a great day and a great November.